I, trying to hold my phone up. I just got a message. Um, well, not just 6 hours ago, but I just looked at the message, and it literally says it's from Stephen Thomas, and he says that he is trying to. His Golda, did you block me, or did the woke AI kick my reply off? This is the third person. Um, I'm trying to challenge you with a debate, hence dialogue, hence more posting of content for your channel. So if you don't believe me, I'll show you. I'll show you, because I was about to do a story, and then I got on here, and then this popped up. I was about to do a story on Tuberville, this fool, on Morning Joe, and then my notifications came up, and here's Steve Thomas. Yeah. Sensible Conversations with Golda. Did you block me, or did the woke AI kick my reply off? Yes, the woke AI kicked your reply off. Says, I'm trying to challenge you with a debate. Now, if I click and go into it, it's the from the guy Steve. It disappears altogether when it should be here. Let me see if he comes up. This, I mean, them blocking me because I'm running is not going to. Now, these are the comments that I gave with other people. I don't even see the guy. Um, but them blocking me because I'm running for president of the United States, because this is YouTube, not me. People who don't want to vote for me are not going to vote for me. But I came on to talk about something else. But please, I never block anybody's comments, because I'm going to, even though this is live, I'm going to be, put it here. All right. All right. So even though that's live later on, let me turn this fan off. This is something I'm doing, and it involves the police and the North Plainfield Police and the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. Um, there's some people where I live that were involved in destroying my car. They haven't fixed it. They haven't offered to fix it. And the officer calls me today, and I tell him I'm recording you on here. He says, yeah, I know you're recording me. He has the audacity to say to me, this is the North Plainfield Police and the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. He had the audacity to say to me that because I complained against him in another matter involving the people who live here or who work here that hit my car, that's why he's throwing this case. So I just he my documents were stolen, and he says, well, the document looks like the exact signature that's on your license. No, it doesn't. But why are you a forensic? Now you know what my signature looks like. So good that it matches up. If somebody is stealing something from me, and if they stole something from me, when they write it, they're going to write it like I would write it. But this is why people are so angry with the police. And a lot of times I defend the good officers. It's hard to distinguish the good officers from the not good officers, but they're out there. This officer,
submit in the future. So if you have it, drop it off, email it to me, whatever. I'll look at it.
All right, I will email it. What's the email address?
Which one do you have?
now why is that here? Stop. I had it ready before I started running my mouth.
Signature's not yours. I look at the I look at your signature, they're virtually identical. So where do I go with that in a criminal proceeding?
You go with the fact that you get the rest of my information to go along with.
Yeah, then submit that stuff. That's fine.
Hold on, let me get the.
There was nothing in the report about you having anything like that to submit in the future. So if you have it, drop it off, email it to me, whatever. I'll look at it.
All right, I will email it. What's the email address?
So what he tells me is that it's a public email address, but I'm just not going to put it up. So what he tells me is that, I'm finished my report. I closed it out. How could you possibly have closed it out? The officer that was here, I just told him a little bit about what happened. You haven't heard the evidence, the recordings that I recorded. You haven't seen the rest of the stuff. And more importantly, he's trying not to file a complaint against two attorneys who took the stolen documents that my sister stole 3 years ago and gave it to those attorneys, and they submitted it in a legal in arbitration. So he says, that's civil. I said, Officer Homestead, that is a civil matter. But what I'm telling you is they knew in advance that the documents were stolen. Well, they're going to say it's from someplace else. They can't. When you go get a car, they pre-fill in your signature. You don't sign the documents. You don't sign the declaration page. It's in cursive writing. It's blue. And when they print the document out, your name is already printed in cursive in the blue ink. So I told him that, and I'm saying, so the page literally looks like somebody highlighted the name out. And if it is a copy of my signature from my license, that kind of makes sense because she was in the car and she took the stuff out of my my registration, which is where the other officer comes in who took the report. The only reason North Plainfield was involved is because she stole the shit out of my car, out of my pocketbook in North Plainfield. So I had to do the report in North Plainfield because she lives in Plainfield. I can't prosecute my sister because my sister has custody of my great niece and my two great nephews. So if I do go after her and she loses her Section 8 or she loses her SSI, where are those kids going? Where are those three kids going? They've been with her since before I came home from prison. So they'll kick you off right away. So I can't really go after her. But the two attorneys who took the documents, this officer and who's a Detective Homestead is his name. And all this is public information, so it's fine. And the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office, as he's discussing this case with me, he says, oh, yeah, you tried to get me in trouble with the other case and it didn't work. They dismissed it. So you're fucking up this report because of the last report where the motherfucker hit my car. And instead of you guys going and getting a video or talking to the person that saw him, I filed a complaint because you didn't do all your paperwork. I'm still in court. And you're getting revenge against me for that? Because that's what I came on to say. This is why people have a problem with the corrupt officers. Homestead is a corrupt officer. He was corrupt back then. He is corrupt right now. And so I told him, listen, I didn't even go forward with it because they gave me your supervisor, and your supervisor was one of the ones who overlook what you did the last time. So I don't know. I'm not sure what complaint you're talking about. Yeah, well, I got the report and da. It's all on here. It's all on here. So I said, well, you can't get revenge against me for what happened the last time. So then we start talking about the last time. But for some reason, he wants to hurry up and not talk about it. After throwing it up in my face and literally stupidly bringing up that you were throwing this report because the last time somebody hit my car, you guys didn't investigate it. And now I'm still in court trying to get my car fixed. As I'm driving down the street, people think that I've been in an accident. So they're like, let me get out of her way. I've been driving since I was 17. I've not had one accident. There's no accidents on my record. There's no points on my record. So he could easily look that up and know that that's the case. This person name is Marcello Ortiz or Marcelo Ortiz, who lives here. I'm sorry, in the building next door, but he works here. While he was working, he ran into my car twice. He doesn't have insurance, the proper insurance. My insurance doesn't want to pay for it because they totaled out the car, and it's much more than the insurance that I had to cover it. But are you insane? This is one of the reasons why YouTube keeps blocking me, because it's not about getting angry. It's about using the law that's in place. And most people, they would let this go. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not most people. And they hate when I say I'm pro se. That only means I'm representing myself. That's all that means. It doesn't mean I'm an attorney. Oh, you're so smart. No, I'm not. If I don't know something, I'm going to find it out. But this is insanity. I haven't even begun to go on the road with my information, and this is some of the things that I'm facing. And it's okay, because I multitask all the time. If you're going to be president of the United States, you can't just work on one thing and everything else go to hell. I've been multitasking since I was 21, because that was my job to do. Since I've had company, he literally said to me, well, why don't you stop leaving your stuff around? And that I should have left an employee standing outside in the cold. I should have left her standing outside in the cold and not let the lady inside my house. And then my documents wouldn't have been stolen. I shouldn't have helped my sister. And if I had not helped my sister, she wouldn't have stolen my documents. Now, all of this is very true. It is very true. If I did not have my sister in my car, taking her to the store on the first of the month, and so she can get her stuff, pay off her bills. I don't do it anymore ever since she stole my stuff. That's true. I would not have. If I had knew that in advance, that she was going to take stuff out like she did. But this is why people are against officers. And you shouldn't be against every officer, because every officer is not like Detective Homestead. Every officer is not like the detective at the prosecutor, Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. Some of them do their job. They just do their job. They don't get emotionally involved. And we never hear about those. We always hear about the Detective Homesteads, the Detective Consatios. I mean, you can't have more proof than I have that this man did this to my car, and they refuse. Oh, well, we can't do anything about that. Oh, okay, so you can't do anything about it. I don't have to accept it that you can't do anything about it. I do not have to accept it. But one thing I am going to do once this thing gets turned back on. Oh, you really starting.
Which one you have?
Latest recording.
Yes. So I got the report that Officer Zelena did for the fraud. There's really nothing that I'm going to be able to do because the signature on the document you sent us looks exactly like your own. Like if whoever it is, they did a hell of a job.
I'm sorry. On which there's two signature things now. Which one are you talking about?
The report you made, it's 4134.
Oh, with Torres.
It's with your sister. Whatever the case was between you and your sister.
I don't know the number because nobody called me back yet.
Yeah, that's not my signature though.
Yeah, but there's no way, like, for me to prove that. In other words, like, if I submitted this to the prosecutor's office, they'd say they look identical. I'd never get charged on anybody. But the reports, if you need the report.
He's completely lying. That's actually not true. That's where an investigation comes in.
Officer Zuena's report for your court proceedings, it's ready for you. I don't know if you picked it up yet.
Well, it's not even that. I know it's not mine. Because it's not that. It's just I know it's not mine because the car dealerships, you don't sign anything. Everything is printed out and it's cursive. The only document you sign is the document where you take out the loan.
Okay.
That's not part of the loan documents.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing really that I can really do with it though. Charged. Like, we deal with criminal charges and I'm not going to be able to get any. So for your civil proceedings, whatever this is between you and your sister, Officer Zuena's report is done. So if you need a copy, it's ready for you.
Yep.
Now, this has nothing to do with the civil. It has to do with the two attorneys who took a document and submitted it knowing that the document was stolen. They knew that because I told them over a year ago. But he didn't know that because the first time I'm talking to him is today. This tape was made about an hour before I went live. And there's a reason why I'm going live. Because if I don't go live, it doesn't get out there. But and then others may have experienced the same thing. And then what to do when an officer does something like this. There's a procedure that you follow, but then you get right back on track and you pursue the people who stole your information. Because all of this is just to throw me off track and to slow it down and say, oh, we can't do anything.
What about the attorneys who used the document?
That's something you have to bring up in court.
No, I'm talking about them using a document that they didn't get from me. Those papers were stolen.
You have to bring that up in court with the judges, correct?
No, it's not. If you took documents that somebody stole from me, you're receiving stolen property, Detective Halstead. It's not.
Now, why do I have to tell him that? He knows the statute for stolen property. He charges it all the time. So it's attorneys and he doesn't want to be bothered. Or it's me and he doesn't want to be bothered. Either way, he's going to be bothered. He's going to be bothered more because of what he said to me, because I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's over 25 minutes, but
A matter of a civil thing. I mean, I understand nobody wants to prosecute anything when it comes to Golda Harris, but I'm going to have to push the issue because attorneys know if I have said to them, my documents were stolen in 2020. It is now 2024, and you have possession of that document. You receive stolen documents.
so how, unless you got it from me, it's my document. Unless you got it from me, you received stolen property. Signature aside, it is my document. It was stolen from me in 2020. How can you have it now in 2024? And I already told you, and I believe 2021 or 2022, that my documents were stolen. See, what Homestead doesn't know is my sister been working with these people and she sent them the documents. He would have known that had he actually did an investigation, because the investigation is not take what I said to Officer Consuela. No, that's not his name. To the other officer who just basically did a CAD report for me. Do your own investigation without speaking to me. Do your own investigation without getting the tape recordings. If he listened to the tape recordings, I can't send it to him until they assign a detective, because he's not the only detective that works at the North Plainfield Police Department. See, that's following the procedure. And then you can say, I looked at all your stuff, I checked out everything you said, and I can't file any charges. You're saying you can't file any charges when all you did was look at the police report, the CAD report that the officer wrote when he came out to see me. What investigation have you done? You haven't even spoken to me. He literally called me for the first time today. And he called me to say, oh, there's nothing that I can do. Then he brings up the old case. Oh, and you tried to get me in trouble with that one. I said, no, I didn't. I didn't try to get you in trouble. And I didn't get him in trouble. I didn't even go forward with the complaint because they let me speak to his supervisor, and his supervisor was involved in the last one. So I'd be filing a complaint with the people who did what they did. A waste of time. If somebody does something to you at the police department and they punch you in your face, you don't file a complaint with the officer who punched you in your face. So this is why people have a problem with police officers. They say the whole police force is like this, when it's not. It's just a few officers on the police force that are like this. That's why you got to get rid of the bad officers and keep the good ones, because you never hear anything good about the good officers. You always hear everything about Detective Homestead, his supervisor, and the other officers. You always hear about them. They're always in the news, but you never hear anything good about the good officers. And nobody wants to hear it because everybody hates officers all of a sudden. Well, guess what? There's about 200 million migrants coming to this country. Who you think you're going to need? Who you think going to help you? You think the migrants going to help you? You think they're going to be nice and say, don't worry, we're not going to do nothing?
Signature or somebody saying that looks like my signature, it can't possibly be my signature, which kind of you guys would have known if you had seen the rest of the application, the entire application. There are no signatures.
But the problem is that one page, right? I got one page from you that was submitted with this report. The signature on it, it's identical to your signature on your motor vehicle, like your license.
It's not identical. It absolutely is not identical.
Then it's just something you're gonna have to bring up in your civil proceedings, okay? There's no way I can show this to an AP. They're not gonna give me any charges for any kind of fraud.
No, I'm not saying that about the signature, because I can take care of that, the signature, in the civil case, because none of the documents are signed. But criminally, you still have two people accepting documents that were stolen from me. I've had a municipal court case. Even your officer, Constantino, one of his reports, because she stole the document.
2021.
Oh, okay, 21. So she stole the documents from me, and in the other case, she literally still has possession of the documents.
Right to this day.
I'm not sure why this is like it's like if your wallet was in my possession, how would your wallet get in my possession?
Okay, then maybe you could send a complaint for theft against your sister. You know, I mean,
yes. Actually, that's what I was going to do. All three of them, but I didn't realize you were looking into that, because that is definitely not.
When you make an investigation report, we look at it and it gets assigned to a detective to follow up. So
To follow up.
You're calling me.
To follow up. To follow up. He's calling me because he's finished, and he's saying, oh, there's nothing I can do. You haven't heard or seen anything that I have. How are you finished?
yeah, I mean, the report I'm looking at from Officer Duane, it says you're alleging someone forged your signature on this document.
They forged my signature and they took the documents.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact my sister had the documents. It's already documented. It's documented in the municipal court. And then I was supposed to go and pick them up from her, but I got the court dates mixed up on when I was supposed to go in person and when I was supposed to be there in remote.
What is the basis of the whole complaint to begin with? So what's the car? What is the whole...
Well, the whole thing with the car is she took the documents out of the car when I was.
I know, but how are you guys fighting over this documents?
Because where I SSI. When you're on SSI, you can only have $2,000 in your bank at a time, or it like raises a red flag, and you got to go through this whole thing. So I was helping people. My brother, who was incarcerated, my niece, and a couple other people get their stimulus checks,
right.
and I was having it deposited into my account
Right.
right around the time that my sister. So I asked her to use her account temporarily until I switched back, and I got like once their checks were no longer coming, then I would switch it and have it, used in my account. But in the meantime, what she did was took and put it in the kids' account, our nieces, great nieces and nephews, where she has custody of them. And this is the reason why I'm not having pressed any charges against her, because I pressed charges against her, and it's a strike against her. She'll lose her Section 8. The kids will have to go to whatever. So it's not because she's my sister that I haven't pressed the charges. I've told several attorneys this already. If the kids had somewhere else to go, or somebody else in the family, I would have pressed the charge, especially now that she's taken that document. And she's the one who gave it to the attorneys because they did not have it. And that's the thing. I didn't really go into all of those details with Officer Zuena.
Right.
I'm doing it now with you. But the only way they could get the document is from her. Right. So she could easily look at my, even the statement.
She can also say, I had my sister sign it on this date and whatever, and then that's why I have it, and I'm handing it to you guys.
Yeah, but
anything otherwise.
No, but she can't, because it's literally documented in the Plainfield Municipal Court.
It's documented that you said she stole it, but you could have done that. Her argument could be she gave it to me, and now
she's already admitted it, is what I'm trying to say to you.
Which he would know if he had did the investigation.
But she submitted and she's had them since 2020. So she's already admitted that to the judge in the municipal court. This is what the attorneys, excuse me. No, she's had them since 2020. I left the documents in my car because I was living in Plainfield at the time. But where I lived, it was a rooming house because I'd just gotten out of prison. And I was there for like a year. There's no parking. Now it's a two-way street in Plainfield, but it's right next to the city hall. And I didn't want the car parked there, so I parked the car at...
Yeah, the report you made with Officer Constantino says February 5th of 2021 that your sister, you said that she took the stuff out of your car.
That is the day that she took the stuff out of my car with Constantino's report.
Right.
When we were in North Plainfield. The original time when she took the original documents, she took them in 2020 because I left my car at her where she lives. She has a parking lot, so I parked the car there. So her whole thing is that since the side deal that we had fell through, she's been holding on to my papers, because when we were at the car dealership, the guy said, in order for you to have the car today, you have to sign these papers so that the money can come out of your sister's account. And then she has to sign it so that they come out of her account, because his name was Anwan. Because we don't have the form here, you have to get the form from Credit Acceptance. But if you want the car today, the two of you just sign this form, and then that's it. That's the only form that we sign, is for my payments to come out of her account. So I took that recording of that and my recordings with her, and I sent the recordings to the attorney in the civil case, so that they know by her and my conversation.
Still like the civil case is what? You're fighting over the car?
No, there's no fight over the car at all. She literally wants her name. Let's just say I don't make the payment. She's stuck with the payment because it's right. So she's holding on to my papers. One, she's upset about the deal that went bad, but so what? That's just a side deal that we had. But two, she's upset because she's holding them until I get her name off of the documents. So I said, I can't take your name off, and you're holding my papers where I could go to court. So it's just in arbitration right now. So the arbitration judge told me to submit the stuff, because whatever happens in arbitration happens in arbitration. And if I don't get the issues resolved, like they overpriced the car, that's stuff. If it doesn't get resolved and I can't make the payments, she's on the hook for it. But she thought she
they made her the co-signer
by holding my papers while I was trying to go through arbitration. So I didn't have the papers to actually prosecute my case because she had them. So that's why I had to take her to municipal court in Plainfield, because she lives in Plainfield. And when she told me to come and pick up the documents, that she would have them ready for me, she still refused. And the reason she did that is because the attorneys from the civil case told her, send me the documents. Now, she told me that they said this, and I record all of our conversations. So there's no way that they can back out now and say they did not know that. And this is the stuff I didn't explain, because he was here on another call, and I just asked if they could come over instead of like making 2 trips. So I didn't even explain in detail this. Those 2 attorneys know that the document my sister sent to them was a document that was stolen, not in my possession. So my issue is, one, the signature is not mine, so I'm really not worried about that, because none of the documents are signed. That's not a loan document, that's a declaration page. But 2, and I didn't even give that to the officer. I just basically gave him the and that's why it says copy on it, because it was sent to me from her. And I was like, wait, why is this page signed? None of the documents are signed when you go to get a car loan from buy here, pay here for credit acceptance, because they put your signature electronically in blue cursive writing on all of the documents. So somebody highlighted the document, and then or it looks like they whited it out, and then put my name on. If you look at my name, you can write my name similar to how I write my name. I know I didn't sign any of the documents other than the loan. So when Plummer said this to me, I said, listen, don't send them any of my documents. They don't have any of the documents because they only do electronically. So both of the attorneys, and I called the law firm, and they're still today, as of what's today, Tuesday? As of Monday, they're still trying to prevent me, the attorneys, trying to prevent me from filing a complaint with their law firm. But about a year ago, when I found out this happened, maybe a year and a half, I called the law firm. I didn't get a person, but I left a voicemail that my sister stole my documents, and they're not to be used because I threatened to go file a police report, but I didn't have enough information, and they hadn't used them. So it was just her saying she's going to send them to them. Well, eventually she did send the documents to them.
In Officer Constantino's report, it says insurance card and registration. I mean, this is 3 years ago. I still haven't replaced those by now.
Yes, and I replaced those, but my other papers were still in the car, and that's the only time she could have gotten the papers out of the car.
How about we start securing some of these things, like the documents that are important to you, like, title work, what was the other one that you just had? The home health aid lady.
Oh yeah, but she was
So-
at home.
So my pocketbook's sitting in my car, and I take my wallet and I go into the store, and I was purchasing something, and I left the pocketbook because it's very heavy. I'm not supposed to be really carrying, when I have my big bag, I'm not supposed to carry it. Beside the point, I had my money in my hand, so I went and made my purchase. While I was in there, she took the registration. I should secure the registration. You have to drive with your registration with you. Just to make a purchase, I should take my registration card into the store with me, and my insurance card and a big folder into the store with me because she's sitting in the car. That doesn't make sense. How about she's not supposed to take anything out of my car, no matter what. If I left $1 million sitting there, she ain't supposed to take it. So
Yeah. And in your home, maybe we should, because you're having people in your car, you have people in your home, maybe start, a lockbox or something for this stuff.
Well, I didn't know my sister was going to steal from me.
he's very sarcastic.
So that's like you being.
I'm just saying, maybe in the future it'll help you out, then you don't have to go through
So
it.
take a
In the
lockbox.
future, I should not help her out because I was literally taking her to stores because her leg was hurting and this and that. So if I hadn't have helped her out, and helped her get her check cash, you're right, my stuff would still be in my car.
Right.
And the other lady that was here, you're right. If I had said no, just stand out in the cold because I'm still taking a shower and you're here early. I could have did that.
So the worker name is Gloria Torres, and she came early while I was still in the shower. So while I was in the shower finishing up, he's telling me I should have just left her standing outside in like 20 below degree weather. And she would have filed a complaint saying I didn't let her in and I left her outside standing in the freezing rain while I finished my shower. So she took my documents while I was in, when I went back and got in the shower, she took my documents. Again, the onus is on me, right? How about the onus on the person who did the theft? Because everything in my apartment is confidential. Everything in my apartment belongs to me. And if you're here working, you shouldn't be stealing my documents. Why is the insurance company hiring people, agencies that are hiring people that are stealing out of people's homes? But the onus is on me. That's why he didn't do his report. That's why he didn't do his job. Because I didn't prevent people from stealing from me. Detective Homestead, North Plainfield Police.
In like 2-degree weather. Excuse me?
She can sit in her car, till you're ready.
No, she walked because she lives on Maple Avenue with the guy that she's literally friends or girlfriends of the guy who hit my car. Right. So and that's why she was here and asking all these questions and 301 Maple Avenue. That's where they live. So yeah, and they know each other. So her purpose.
They all know each other.
Come and find out what happened. I had no idea. I don't know. Like my insurance company hires the people to come and be an aid. But she knew.
How would I know that in advance?
Yeah, she knew who I was. So
right, she knew who I was.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing really that I'm going to be following up on with this. It's just the report's ready for you if you need it for your proceedings. It's here.
All right. Well, no, it's not all right. They stole they have possession of my stolen documents.
Yeah, but I can't prove that. I mean, you understand the criminal case is beyond reasonable doubt. It's not.
Yeah, it is beyond reasonable doubt, but you got to do your job.
I'll never get any kind of charges. If you want to proceed with a charge against your sister for taking documents 3 years ago, you can try that. I don't know what the statute of limitations or where it occurred or anything, but
that's already in court. I said I intentionally didn't bring criminal charges against her because she would lose her Section 8, and then the kids would have a place to live.
What else do you think I could follow up on?
The attorneys reaching out to them and why they have my documents from her.
Why do I have to tell him this?
Emails they have or anything like that?
Well, I would have to give that to you. Right, I have their emails and what their response. First of all, they didn't answer me at all from the time I wrote them or sent them a year ago. Just on Friday when I called back, they sent me an email and said they got the papers from Credit Acceptance, which I know they could not have gotten the paper from Credit Acceptance because Credit Acceptance doesn't keep a copy of the documents. But they still know from the.
Something in front of a judge, you'll have to bring this up. It'd be great if you had an attorney to fight for you, but I guess you're doing it by yourself.
Yes, I'm pro se because I'm on SSI, so I don't have money to pay. This is not something where legal aid is going to pay, to represent me. It's not a landlord-tenant matter or something like that.
And the whole crux of the matter, is it the car that you currently have?
Yes.
Okay, so would it be repossessed if
that says I'm the buyer, she's the co-buyer. So now she wants me to get her name off the document, which I'm trying to do in arbitration. So that's not even an issue.
Yeah. What's left on the car for payments or any of that?
Oh, I stopped paying. I stopped making payments when I went into arbitration. So the car is like, it was $8,000. I put down $2,000. So that left about a $6,000 balance. But because of whatever happened in the system, in their system, they use something called caps, which it elevates the price. The car became $16,000 minus 2, so it's a $14,000 car. What is it?
Is it a potential to be repossessed?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not be repossessed.
While I'm in arbitration, the payments are stayed. When you go to arbitration and there's an issue over the financing or anything, you can stay the payments. So after I made my initial, I think I paid from December to March or April, and there's been no more payments because it's been in arbitration. I also have, right, and then it went to state court, and then they took it out of state court and went to the other court. So it's not even an issue of the car in danger of being repossessed. If I don't make one payment, because they qualified me based on my SSI, so my payment should be somewhere around $189 or maybe $200, and it would have been paid off over 3 years. So literally, it would have been paid off by now. But because it's in arbitration, the payments are stayed because the amount on the financing says that I owe $14,000. So that's one of the things that have to be hashed out. If it doesn't get hashed out, she's going to be paying for the car.
That's not hers.
That I'm driving. Excuse me?
Yeah, that's her mistake. That's her mistake.
Right.
Oh, well.
Right. But it's for holding my papers. And so, and then we went to court, and the judge in municipal court had the papers, and some other stuff happened, so I got sick, and I wasn't able to go. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This doesn't have anything to do with me the car being repossessed. This has nothing to do with the civil case. These people...
I just have a document that Officer Zelina submitted. I mean, I can barely read it. I can see the signatures on it.
Right.
You can barely read it.
I have no idea what it's referring to or what the background is on it.
Yeah, it says declaration.
Right. You can barely read the document, but you see the signatures. So if you had called me and spoke to me prior to earlier today when I recorded this, you would know that they sent it to me a second time last week, but I just gave him that because that at the time was the only copy that I had, and I marked it copy so I wouldn't get the documents confused. So now she sent them the original one. They sent me a copy of the actual original document, which I haven't printed out and sent to the officer because you didn't do an investigation. You haven't heard the recordings. You haven't seen the paperwork from the Plainfield court. You've seen nothing. And already you've determined that it's not a theft. Based on what? Just that it's from me? Well, he's about to say why. Because he's upset that the last time he got in trouble of some sort. So for this one, he's just blowing it off. So it's about to come up now.
Yeah, but I don't know what the heck it's declaring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where the rest of it is.
Right. Now that's what she...
I don't even need it because it's your civil matter, and it's, the report you made is ready. So, you just bring these up with the judge. That's all I can tell you. I know it stinks, but there's nothing for me criminally to follow up on. I know you think I can, but if you're talking about documents that are stolen from you, that are being submitted, then it's going to be up to you to sign that complaint.
I am going to file a complaint.
I don't think they'll be receiving. I think it's against the person who stole it and submitted them. So.
Yes, so there's my sister, but then there's 2 attorneys who received
stolen documents.
Going after these attorneys, how do they know these documents are stolen?
Because I wrote them and told them, because I sent them and the judge in that case the the conversations, just like you and I are talking right now, I record all my conversations with my sister.
I'm not aware of that.
No, I'm just saying, we're talking and I'm recording. So when I talk to my sister, I record. So I literally took the recording and submitted it to the attorneys.
Okay, so if you're trying to push a criminal case with me, why don't you submit any of that stuff to me?
Because I was waiting for somebody to call me. I actually thought you were calling me about the other thing. I didn't realize you were calling me about this. But this is why I said when somebody calls me, I'll speak to you and get together like just the stuff that you need so you can see.
The problem is you looked at it and said, oh, it's Golda Harris, and I'm just going to close this out. That's what the fucking problem is. The problem is you're trying to get revenge against me because Internal Affairs crawled up your ass the last time you fucked up my documents. And now they're being taken to court because you fucked up paperwork. And so instead of saying, let me call her like I'm supposed to do and do the investigation right, you still do the investigation wrong. And you think that I'm not going to file a complaint using this tape that I'm replaying live on the fucking YouTube against you, Detective Homestead?
If they listen to the tape recordings, they'll know that I didn't sign it. They'll know that she's.
Email those tape recordings to me or drop them off at headquarters and I'll listen to it.
Alright, let me just write the email down.
Like I said, it's got to be something, it's got to have a time and date on it and be relevant to whatever you're reporting because there's other cases in the past where I've got stuff that's not relevant.
That's for me?
Yes.
What stuff in the past?
So
I don't think I only did one case.
You're trying to prove that these attorneys knowingly took documents that they knew were stolen.
Yes.
That your sister knowingly stole from you.
Yes.
It's a whole conspiracy along those lines. So you'll need some kind of proof of that, okay?
Yes.
Submit it to me and I'll look into it.
Alright, well, it's not a conspiracy. They actually did, but I'll get the stuff together. I'll submit it to you. And I only had, I think, one other case, and that's for the man that hit my car. That wasn't a conspiracy. Nobody transferred.
Okay.
Nobody transferred it. And see, that's the thing with submitting stuff to you, because you're already prejudiced against me. That, I'm wasting my time. So
It's not that. It's the fact that I've got the report I have in front of me says suspicious activity. It says that you got a document that these lawyers had that you said your signature's not yours. I look at the signature, I look at your signature, they're virtually identical. So where do I go with that in a criminal proceeding?
you go with the fact that you get the rest of my information to go along with.
Yeah, then submit that stuff, that's fine.
But you'd already made your decision.
There was nothing in the report about you having anything like that to submit in the future. So if you have it, drop it off, email it to me, whatever.
That's why you're supposed to call the person.
Email it. What's the email address?
I ain't sending him shit.
Which one you have? I know we changed the email a year or two ago.
I don't even. Hold on. Let me see what I have. Because the only one I have is the one where I'm getting the videotapes.
I don't know if it's our old one or a new one though. It's C. Halstead at North Plainfield.
HALSTE. C. Halstead at North Plainfield spelled out.
Yep, spelled out, then NJ at the end of that. .gov, G-O-V.
CHALSTEAD. STED.
Yep.
At North Plainfield. No dot, just North Plainfield NJ.
Correct.
Alright.
Then .gov.
Who would be the person at the prosecutor's office that would handle this anyway?
The way it works is They get screened, but they have like a rotating, you know, list of assistant prosecutors to look at cases. So I have no idea who would look at it until they actually assign it, and any one of those would look at it for possible charges. But I need proof of something. I need evidence. Like, you know, like I said, the criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt to prove anything. Your civil matters are all preponderance of evidence, which is basically 51%.
So I just have one question separate then, because you said the last time I submitted stuff, it wasn't relevant regarding my car being hit. The fact that they're.
Did you read my report?
Yeah.
I don't believe I got your report.
You can pick it up.
For that, what is that case number? Because there's a witness. Oh, all right.
It's in front of me anywhere here, so.
All right.
You just drop your name off, and I'll look at all the reports you made. I don't remember exact date or when that was.
All right, because my issue was is that there was videotape of the person, and he didn't get the videotape.
No, I have all that.
So how was that?
But you don't have videotape.
Wasting your time. It's like if this is what your officers are writing.
What are you talking about? The last case?
Yes, the case where the guy ran into my car twice,
Right.
vandalized my car.
You can pick my report up, and then essentially I think you launched an IA against me after that.
I didn't lose an IA because I didn't do IA. Internal Affairs investigation. No, I didn't. See, you're getting the wrong information. I was supposed to do an IA report against you and whoever else was involved for not documenting the case and not getting the video.
Yeah, but no, I documented it pretty extensively. So
No, you didn't.
If you want to grab my report, you can grab my report when you're done.
So there's a video of the person who hit my car, and it goes by really fast. So the officer, Conseco, decided he wasn't going to get the video, so it erased over itself. But there is a witness who literally saw this motherfucker in the car. He literally saw him in the car. That's not in any report that I saw. So he's saying that the two signatures match. No, they don't. No, they don't. My signature does not match this signature. This is the signature on my driver's license. This is the signature on this document, and they do not match. They don't match. But if somebody is forging my name, then obviously they're going to write it and try to write it like what the document looks like. They're going to try and make it look like my signature. They aren't going to forge my name and make it look completely different. That's not my signature. Down here is supposed to be the agent's name. This is not the agent. You can't even make out what that says. And then there's my sister's signature. I'm not going to put that on there, on the thing. But the other day, they sent me a document. They literally sent me the full document, which I sent to her after I marked it. So that I'm not showing her signature, because I'm not worried about that signature, because that signature is not mine. Here is the original document that they sent me. Here's the full original document. I'm just trying not to show her thing. So here's the agent's name, which you can't make out. What does that say? Anybody, what does that say? You can't make it out. Okay, so then I faxed her the copy so that I faxed her a copy so that she so up here is the addresses, the address where I used to live. And then here's the page that she's in an uproar about, because this is a declaration page. I did not sign the declaration page. So they sent her, it says signature of buyer, and then over here, signature of co-buyer. You can't buy a car in the state of New Jersey with another person unless, one, you're married to them or you have a business with them. But one person can only buy a car. I I never got to get into any of this with him, but this signature and my signature are not the same signatures. They're not the same signatures. You can say it's close, but they are absolutely not the same signatures. I don't write like this. I don't sign like this. Oh, it's exactly identical to the one on your driver's license. No, it's not. It absolutely is not identical to the one on my driver's license. But if somebody were going to forge my signature, they would make it look like this. They would make it look similar to this. So what I'm saying is, where's the original document? Because this was sent to me 2 days ago or last week. This was sent to me. This is literally dated 12/8/2020. So the document sat in the car for a few months. And then when I got ready to bring it here to where I live, that's when everything happened. She was taking the stuff out of the car. I literally have a videotape of her taking the stuff out of the car. He hasn't heard that. He hasn't heard anything. And then I didn't know that she took shit out the car. She had taken that stuff out of the car a while ago. But it does not matter. What does matter is she the only one that had possession of it. So you don't take stolen property and submit it and like y'all going after Donald Trump, then y'all should let Donald Trump go. If y'all saying having possession of stolen documents, it don't mean nothing, then let Donald Trump go. Y'all just let Joe Biden off, right? And that's why people keep voting for Trump, because of corrupt bullshit like this, right?
Okay, but you say I lost an IA. I still have to file that and report against you.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like and that's what I called back. I never proceeded with it. The lieutenant, I think, wrote whatever he wrote and said he spoke to me, and I refused to go forward with it. But one of the reasons why I refused to go forward with it is because of what was going on. And it's like, even now with this one, it's like, you really don't want to do it. And
but now I'm going to do it.
It's a conflict of interest to me, but I don't care who does it, you or somebody else.
Yeah, like I said, I need evidence. So if you give me evidence, then we can take it from there.
Okay, so there's a guy, there's a man who works at the kitchen who knows the guy and saw him come in, even though your officer did not get the videotape.
What is this about? The kitchen? What are you?
The kitchen place. It's called the Kitchen Works or Kitchen Works across from me. The man who works there saw the guy who vandalized my truck, but your officer did not. Your officer did not document that. Your officer did not put that in a report.
Right. And so that's why I went to IA.
Gave you stuff, and it didn't lead to anywhere.
You can read my report. I mean, that's all I can tell you on that one.
Right, and that's why it's still in IA. So when I actually go to court, you guys delayed it. So it's like you're saying there's a time limit. There's not a time limit if you delay the report. If you guys are found.
Certain offenses have, different statutes of limitations.
Yes, they do. Yes, but they relate back when it's determined at a later time that the information was there and there was wrongdoing by the public official. That time clock starts again at the date of when it was determined the wrongdoing was done by the official.
Which, based on this recording, is going to be today. Because whereas I had let the shit go, now I'm not going to let it go. Since your mouth so goddamn smart, Detective Halstead, you want to get on a video, get on a tape recording and run your mouth, you just restarted the clock with your admission. That's what you did. Because I did let the internal affairs report go. But since you want to run your mouth on tape, now as of today.
Right, so when you get a chance, drop off whatever evidence you have for this case, and then I'll take it from there. Okay?
Yes, Yes, but you're going to do the same thing that you did in the last one.
Why did you say that? If you have something that I can use that's actually proof of a crime being committed, then that's not going to be the same thing.
So 4 people saying that a guy ran into my car is not proof of a crime?
See, I told you, if you want to hash over that case, I don't have it in front of me. You can pick up my report, you can read it, and I have everything saved. Everything you gave me, your pictures, your videos, your recordings, it's all saved with the case. And my report was like 2 or 3 pages long of what happened.
But you didn't speak to the witness that saw him come in.
I don't understand why you haven't even looked at that.
Why haven't looked at what? Because of maybe I actually don't have it because the lieutenant that I tell you when the prosecutor's office told the lieutenant to do the investigation, it was the same lieutenant that I had a problem with my brother's case. So I said, "Oh, I'm not reporting anything to you." So I don't even know that you did a report.
Yeah, of course I did a report.
Right, but I just don't have it.
On your case.
Yeah, and I just don't have it because
The next record says 7 to 3, so the next time you're here, you can grab it during the week.
and then I called them back. I called the back. It's been so long because I haven't been feeling well and I've been involved in other things and I had to get my health together. But
which I have.
So I'll be looking into both of them then. Now since you brought it up, because I didn't realize that they all he told me he was going to do, Lieutenant, I forget his name, was just say that I refuse to go forward with it. So
I have nothing to do with the IA. What he does, whatever he wrote up or anything on your case.
But you brought up IA. Oh, you tried to get me in trouble with IA. You brought it up. Now all of a sudden is when I tell you, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to write a report complaint again, and I am. Since you just started the clock again, Detective Homestead. Now it's, I got nothing to do with it. Such a bunch of bullshit.
I do not have access to that at all. I don't know where it went. What happened with that?
Well, you stated that I lost my IA internal affairs investigation.
Yeah, you launched an internal affairs investigation after that case.
But it didn't go anywhere because I didn't proceed with the person.
I guess not.
Yeah, I didn't proceed. Yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to get, and that's the thing. I'm not trying to get anybody fired. I'm just trying to get my stuff documented.
After that case.
But it didn't go anywhere because I didn't proceed with the person.
I guess not.
Yeah, I didn't proceed. Yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to get, and that's the thing.
I guess not.
Yeah, I didn't proceed. Yeah. Oh. Yes, but they relate back when it's determined by the public.
See, all of this what officers do.
Internal affairs investigation.
Yeah, you launched an internal affairs investigation after that case.
But it didn't go anywhere because I didn't proceed with the person.
I guess not.
Yeah, I didn't proceed. Yeah.
I'm still sitting here.
I wasn't trying to get, and that's the thing. I'm not trying to get anybody fired. I'm just trying to get my stuff documented by everybody who saw what happened. Like the car didn't hit itself. Like literally, his tires are in the snow.
They were hashing about this case that was a couple of years ago. So
2 years ago, as of January. 2 years ago, as of January. And the civil thing for that, as long as I file it before April, that's a civil thing. But it's still for.
I'm done talking about it basically because I closed it out. So if you want to read the report, you can read the report. I don't know why you haven't picked it up. That doesn't make sense, but
because I didn't know they wasn't a report.
Whatever you have for this case, get it to me, okay?
I don't think so.
All right,
You're prejudiced against me. You all right? Have a good day.
I'm sending you nothing, but you are going to get a report. You're definitely going to get something. Detective Homestead, whatever his name is. Today's date is the 14th. See, this the bullshit that I go through back and forth with the officers. While people who live around here think that I'm going to officers about them, I'm not. This is what takes so long because officers are writing what they want to write in the report. Then I go get the report and it says the red shoe was across the street. So what? What does that have to do with what I reported to you? What does that have to do with what's on video, what's on audio and what's on video? And so that's the problem. As soon as they hear you say, oh, you're pro se, they don't want to be bothered. Oh, it's so many reports. What's so many reports? There was one incident where Marcelo Ortiz hit my car twice on purpose. Then there was this incident that just happened like maybe 2 weeks ago, which all I did was document it, because if nothing happens, okay, it's fine. It's just being documented. But I'm going to go down there and file a complaint with the court. But Detective Holstead just restarted the clock because he's admitting right on tape that what I'm sending him is a bunch of stuff that's not relevant. So that's how your evidence gets kept out of your court. Because somebody said, what are they talking about? You had the evidence. When you have a detective keeps your evidence out of or does reports for you, and they keep your evidence out, that's how your ass winds up getting locked up. That's how you wind up losing your case. It's called the pay for play. Now, what does this have to do with me running for president of the United States? It has a lot to do with me running for president of the United States. Yes, that took an hour for me to play, even though it's only about 33 minutes. It took an hour for me to play because I was explaining in between, and I was explaining why these people are doing this. This right here, I'm trying to challenge you. And then when I hit it, he should be the first one up here. When I hit that, he should be the first one. When I go back, here's my latest comments. So maybe I'll find him somewhere down, if I can put him in order, or when I go in my back in my thing, maybe I'll find it there. But I should be able to just respond to his comments, because these are my notifications. He wrote that 6 hours ago. All of this is 1 hour. So he wrote it 6 hours ago. And if I hadn't have come on here to do a video about these two, I would never have known. I would never have seen it, because it would have dropped down. And when it drops down, if it's something that was from yesterday, I have to scroll. So I won't see it until I literally go into until I literally go into my on my page and then see it there. But this is what you have to do when you're just everyday regular person, and you've got these conglomerates, and you don't get your police reports done right. What good would it do for me to file criminal charges when I'm telling him something and he doesn't have the recordings? He doesn't have this document. He literally said, oh, all I have is a document. I can barely see the recording. Yeah, I can barely make it out. Right, you can barely make it out. So how is it that you finished a report that you can barely see? How is it that he admits to me, which is why I'm playing it live, oh, I could barely see it. I can barely see the report. Right, I can barely make out the signature. Right, you can barely make out the signature, because they just sent me this one, which is nice and clear. You don't have the clear one. When the officer was here, I didn't have a clear one. All I had was the one that was it was text to me, and I gave that to the officer. Then after he left, a few days later, I got an email. Well, this is okay. So around January 10th. So January 9th, they sent me this. They sent me this, the full thing, around January 9th. And then I wrote them back January 10th. But all I had prior to them sending that to me, the only thing I had was just this. That's it. That's all I had. That's all I had. I have nothing else. This ain't even her signature because I had to take her to court. And on her answer, she filed her answer and put her signature. So this ain't even my sister's signature. But he don't know this because he didn't bother to talk to me. And this is why people keep supporting Donald Trump, because y'all think there's some difference between Biden and Trump, and there is not. There is not one difference. So I already know the people who is going to go for Trump, they're going to go for Trump. The people who are going to sit it out, they're going to sit it out. The people who are going to go for Biden are going to go for Biden. But then there's people like me, and there's more of us than there is of them. And those are the people that I'm looking for. Will they or won't they? I don't know. I'm not going to not run for president based on what they will or won't do. I'm going to run for president because, damn it, I'm not going to sit back and do nothing. Because this is getting worse and worse and worse. So at the end of the day, if I lose, we losing. It's people that had a house and $1 million last 2 years ain't got it, homeless. It's people with 2 and 3 master degrees that's struggling to pay their rent. I'm already down at the poor bottom of the scale. Y'all gonna lose if I lose. If I lose, y'all lose. Y'all lose, I lose. We all going to lose. I'm just not going to sit back, see it happening, and do nothing. That's why there are other people just like me, and I would get behind any one of those regular running people, a regular person like me that's tired of people like this. Y'all keep putting people in office like this, like that. That's what y'all do. And so, because I am getting feedback when I say I'm running for president, people haven't just blown it off like Detective Halstead and the prosecutor's office in Somerset County. They haven't just blown it off. They said, okay, well, let's do something about it. Of course, I have my documents. But these Hispanics all know each other. That don't faze me. I grew up around Hispanics. Don't none of that faze me. And it's just like when you in the hood and it's a whole bunch of black people and people don't want to do something. Like that's all of these preconceived notions about people from the hood and white people and racist people and this people. Yeah, but those are just individuals that feel the way they feel and think the way they think. But I should stop living because these motherfuckers is crooks. I should not go and file a report because he doesn't do his job. I should say, oh, I hate all the police because he doesn't do his job. Most of the officers do their jobs. Most of the officers go out of their way to try to help you. And people hate when I say that. But especially since it's officers like him that lied and put me in prison. But I'm not going to hate everybody just because they're an officer. Because you're going to need an officer one day. With 200 million migrants coming into this country, you're going to need an officer. I'm about to go because I have to do a video and I don't want it to be part of this. But that's why they keep cutting me off. I would rather sit here and let this run for an hour, an hour, 15 minutes to show you guys what I go through back and forth to get my documentation the way it's supposed to be. Don't ever go to court because an officer, you told the officer something, the officer wrote it what he want in the report. If it's not what you said, and you know you got audio and video evidence contrary to that, and they won't amend the complaint because now he's saying, oh, well, just send it to me, I'll do it. No, sir. You're getting a complaint. And I'm going to download this tape recorder, tell them at what numbers he said the bullshit that he said. 33, 31 minutes and 29 seconds, 32 minutes and 46 seconds. That's when he said his bullshit. But I'm going to send them the whole thing so they hear the entire conversation. And now he says to me, oh, well, you got to send me the stuff. You got to send me the whole thing. That's exactly what they did the last time. They didn't even listen to it. He says, oh, you sent me so much stuff, but you never called me and did the investigation. You cannot do an investigation by yourself. You have to talk to the people that were involved. And so that's why motherfuckers keep going for Donald Trump, because when you try to do the right thing, it goes out the window. They know his drawers is dirty. They know Donald Trump is dirty. But because they have to deal with the same bullshit that I have to deal with, that's why they're supporting somebody that basically is trying to sell out the country. They don't care anymore. They don't care because of people like Officer Detective Homestead, because of the fucking corruption, and that's why they're voting for Donald Trump. That ain't the right thing to do, but I'm about to go. It'll be on there, and there was no way that I wasn't going to share that with the public, because you got to advocate for yourself. You have to let these people know calmly, politely, and you disagree, and then you state your state and you go on to the next thing, because they're going to fix my car. I told somebody, I think it was yesterday, I said, everybody thinks I lose in court. I don't lose in court. He's literally making me file a tort claim, sue his boss, sue Chief Preddy. He's the chief. I got to sue everybody up the chain of the line, because that's what the goddamn law says. Everybody that he works for. Then I got to sue North Plainfield, just because you won't do your job. And so somebody last time crawled up your ass and said, hey, you should have did this, because then you make me miss timelines. But now that I got you admitting the fuck what you did, that restarted my timeline, smart ass. Have a good day. Everybody's so smart.